The Dragonroach is an extremely dangerous Terminid in Helldivers 2, introduced as a new flying enemy with the Into the Unjust update. They are described by the devs as a flying bile titan and begin spawning on difficulty 5 and above. They spawn much more frequently on hive worlds to try and force players into the caves. Forget the slow and predictable movements of bile titans, Dragonroaches fly incredibly fast, patrolling the skies above and waiting until you least expect it. Then they swoop in and cover the entire area with flames, dealing significant damage to any unlucky Helldivers caught in the attack. So how do you kill them? A single headshot from an anti-tank weapon such as the recoilless rifle will take them down. If you miss and hit the body, you'll need to land a second shot to finish the kill. And believe me when I say that the reload feels like it takes forever when you're about to get fried to a crisp. If you find it difficult to land those headshots, you can opt for the orbital rail cannon strike, which is a guaranteed kill, but its long cooldown leaves you helpless when there are multiple of them. Of course, the ultimatum can take them down as well, but they hover just outside of its range, requiring you to add some momentum to hit a shot. Of course, this is a lot easier said than done, and in this video I'll be breaking down their behaviors and attack patterns, and showcasing the best loadout for slaying dragons. Starting with their behavior. On hive worlds, you'll almost always see a Dragonroach flying around at the beginning of the mission. But unlike other enemies, they sometimes choose to ignore players, even if they're being directly shot at. Dragonroaches engage on their terms, and will try to wait for you to be preoccupied by other bugs before they fly in for a lightning-fast strafing run. Even if you have a visual, their strafing runs are extremely aggressive and accurate, almost always resulting in you getting hit and needing to stim. After the strafing run, they will begin to hover in place while readying their second attack. This is when they're most vulnerable to return fire, giving you a small window to let off an anti-tank round before they douse you with more flames. Their hovering phase isn't long enough for most orbitals or eagles to be called in, and they still fly high enough that most ground explosions won't damage them. After their second attack, they'll go back to circling in the sky before repeating the behavior loop. So what's the best way to kill them? Using anti-tank weapons and hitting the head guarantees a kill, but successfully landing that headshot can be challenging. I don't recommend using the spear, as its lock-on usually hits the body, which requires a second shot to take one down. A great option is the orbital rail cannon, which guarantees the kill. You'll want to try and throw the rail cannon as close to directly under them as you can get it, and only during their hovering phase. If you throw it while they're circling or strafing, it may not lock on, and it'll waste the shot. Also, they can clip into large rocks or fly below cliff overhangs, wasting your rail cannon as it hits the surface above them. This has happened to me several times, especially near cave entrances, so be wary of that. There are several ways to extend the range on the ultimatum, which is effective against them, but it takes some practice to land a shot. What's the best loadout to counter Dragonroaches? Dragonroaches actually spit air combustible acid, which is Arrowhead's fancy way of saying that they spit green fire. Fire-resistant armor passives like Inflammable, Acclimated, or Desert Stormer make them way easier to deal with. Having both the Inflammable passive and Vitality booster equipped makes Dragonroaches almost trivial, but you'll still have to worry about other bugs. With this setup, their attacks do next to no damage, allowing you to casually wait for them to start hovering, and then hit an effortless headshot with an anti-tank weapon. As for support weapons, my go-to on the bug front is usually the expendable anti-tank, but after some testing, I can say that the expendable napalm from the Dust Devils Warbond is also a solid choice. That way you can still equip the portable hell bomb or supply pack for the caves, and still have a rocket launcher for heavies. During my testing with this setup, I had more trouble with all of the regular bugs than I did with the actual Dragonroaches, and that leads me into the reason why Dragonroaches are so difficult to deal with, because of how most players build against bugs. Light armor makes you very vulnerable to their strafing runs, which are capable of killing you almost instantly. Their behavior also makes them difficult to deal with because they often only attack after you've started fighting other bugs. I've learned a lot about their movements during my extensive testing, and overall, I think they are a good addition to the game, and I'm glad that they added them. But they can definitely be a challenge to deal with if you don't have fire resistance. Even if you know their attack patterns and have something to take them down, they can still catch you by surprise and light your ass on fire. Thanks for watching. Follow for more.